Oh, my reception just nosedived, but I think it's okay. Who do we got? Matthew and Michael. Hello, Matthew and Michael. And Martine Zed. Hello, Martine. How are you? So I can see that Matthew and Michael are from Arizona. Martine, where are you at, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, wonderful. Okay, cool. I've spent a fair bit of time in London. That's about all the England I've ever done. But had a partner there for quite a while. Beautiful country. I've always wanted to get to Cornwall. I like to surf, so I've always thought it would be nice to go there for a surf. Oh, nice. Oh, Julie in Vermont. Julie will probably be pretty familiar with a lot of the tracks we see where we share a similar biome. So, yeah. Well, we'll wait. We'll wait. Tour hasn't started yet. It is a little chilly here. It's pretty nice. It's like two. Okay, somebody has to do the. I'm not translating between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Every time I try, it's just a train wreck. So it's -2 degrees Celsius here. So bobcat prints. Oh, Julie, that's amazing. In my yard last year, I was at my window and I was just fortunate enough to be sitting there as a bobcat just walked right through the yard, and I had time to snap like a very blurry photograph of it, but I'd never seen one in real life. You see the tracks around here every now and then. This area where we are, um, I don't know how lucky we're gonna get, but like this is where I come in the fall to look at deer, and if the deer are here, I'm assuming some coyotes and bobcats will run through. Just looking around, I can see like a million rabbit tracks. There's snowshoe hares all over this place. And with snowshoe hares, sometimes you get lucky and you see like wing prints in the snow where the rabbit tracks stop. Um, but if I'm being really honest, I'm not a big animal tracking person. So anybody who's got it's incredible to think about it. Oh, I know, Julie, it's amazing. But yeah, so anybody who's got knowledge with animal tracking, this is definitely like a collaborative enterprise today, because I this is not one like the maple syrup tours I can lead. I know pretty much what's happening. Some of the other tours we do I can lead. I know what's happening. The tracking one has never been high on my priority list to learn. I mostly just walk through the woods and go, look how cool that is. So please feel free to say something if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, which is all the time. Um, Also, I have been told that I tend to rush through things, um, and not pause long enough to get pics, postcards. So if there's something you want me to stop on, go back to, I will happily do that. Just let me know. Um, and good morning, Gregory F. Yeah, let me know, and we'll happily take a break for a postcard. We can stop, we can zoom in, we can do whatever. Usually, I wind up on the maple tours. We go through the woods and we wind up down by the water because the water is this like just ridiculous. It's the picturesque view. We might wind up down by the water because I saw last night, came home, and the ice is just thick enough for small animals. So there's this beautiful kind of snaking um, trail. You know what? I think I've uploaded it to this. Let me see. A snaking trail across the ice that will be great for IRL, but I don't even know. So there's that. I don't know if you can see that's the little track through it, but that was like not. I don't know if I can get us close enough to get a pretty thing like that. But anyway, that's what we saw last night. That looks to me like snowshoe hare tracks. Um, Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's it. You can go to my Instagram, best kept or like at best kept secret with an a.ca. It's linked to in my page. And thanks, guys. Oh, that means a lot. I'm not a great photographer, so I appreciate the positive feedback. And so, without morning, Katie. Without further ado, we're gonna get my ugly face off of there. will give us an idea of where we are, and let's just start doing some tracking. Um, Again, just to let everybody who's here know, I'm not much of an animal tracker. I'm doing this mostly because the maple tour that I like to do at this time of year, the temperature nosedived, and it's too cold for that. So I'm trying a different thing, but this one is a lot more of a collaborative effort. So we're going to go around the fringes. We're going to go this way around the fringes of this field, which I just love this field. I'll even show you. I'm going to do a little bit of a whip pan here, so just watch your tum-tums. But this big tree here, right about, oh, you can't see it right now. Oh, there it is. See, there's like a piece of wood descending. I lay that up on a branch, and that's where I sit in the fall for undisclosed reasons. So yeah, this is where we are. We're in the south shore of Nova Scotia. The Atlantic Ocean is now, if I'm facing this direction, about, I don't know, 500 yards or more behind us. And we'll probably wind up the tour down there just because I know everybody loves the pictures of the ocean. But for now, let's tip down a bit and see what we can see. I know there's deer, and I just want to see what else there is. So we can either, we got something here. That's bad light, but normally big back, skinny front means rabbit. And I think if you look at like in between those tracks, that's some poop. That's some rabbit poop, more rabbit poop, and it seems to follow that trail of rabbit. So my guess is that's some, and I shouldn't say rabbit, that's offensive to the snowshoe hares and to the rabbits, I think. I don't want to misspecies these friends. Now we got these deep tracks, and if you follow that, it's over there. So those might be some deer, because I know the deer come here. So let's see what we can see for the deer track. I'm not sure how to make this the most cinematographic for you people. So if there's, I guess I should zoom out and get you some bigger shots. This is a really chaotic scene. I'm in the sunlight here, but look at that. So you can track this deer along, and they come off the snow. And let's just tip up real quick. So we're just on the edge of this field here. Yeah, right, exactly. Rabbit hare deer party. And so this is where we're hanging out for now. And so I don't know if we keep tipped down, but if we follow this like big ball of chaos, there's some more. That's a really beautiful hair print. What I'm going to do, for those following us along at home, tell me if you can see that. That is an incomplete list. If you click on it, does that whole thing show up? It's really long, and I didn't break it up, so hopefully it does. But that's an incomplete list of various animal tracks. So as we're going, feel free to reference that. You can save as a postcard. Wonderful. So yeah, feel free to reference that, and we can, figure that out. So this, oh wow, very nice rabbit print. The little front paws, the little back paws, even a poop right in the middle. I don't know why I find it so amusing, but I do. So yeah, oh, so I think these tracks, these deer tracks here, I believe they're coming towards us, but I might like to follow them. How do you guys feel about that? Are we good to follow the deer trail for a minute, maybe work backwards on it? If it curves in, are there any wolves where I am? No, Martine, but we have the eastern coyote, and the eastern coyote has the there's lots of fox. Yeah, the eastern coyote has the interesting distinction of being the coyote species with the most wolf DNA in it of any North American coyote. They have a real bad rap around here. I think they're beautiful. I really, it's one of those things where we keep encroaching these animals' space and then wondering when they do what they have to do to survive, and getting mad at them. Like people here will try to hit them with their cars and stuff. I think it's really, really distasteful. So, and you can see all these plants, like this one's been just mowed. All of these in the spring over here, like this little scrubby bit there, that's all blueberries this here. And so in the spring, not in the spring, sorry, in the summer, it's just full of deer, and they come and it's wild. It's like a party here. I see them all the time, and it's really nice. But again, talking about what we were just talking about, I try to stay mostly out of their way. So, oh, here's an interesting one. Crossing the deer path. I don't know if maybe this is just this is like a vole. So can you see this? See, we come out of the little vole hole, bloop, and we go along, and we think, nah, we're feeling a little too exposed, into another little vole hole. And you can see it kind of stops there. So, don't lose the deer tracks. Do you guys need, how are we doing for visuals? What do we want? Do we want a wider view, a narrower view? Change locations? Right now, we're just following this deer trail. Oh, you know what? And we might be going in the right direction. This one's really, really nice. You can even see the kind of cloven nature of that hoof, right? Like you can see it's split at the tip. So I think if I'm correct, okay, thanks. I'm glad to hear it. We'll keep doing it. If I'm correct, we're heading in the right direction. So, the deer are crepuscular. Oh, thanks, Aaron. So they're super active mornings and nights. They chill out in the shoulder hours. Oh, we got a little vole just going to town. Crepuscular, C-R-E, puscular, I believe. And it means, yeah, they love the evenings and the dawns. So there's a lot of crepuscular animals. I think deers are one of them. I believe hares are as well. I'll be very honest. I wanted to do this at kind of that time because I thought maybe we could catch an animal moving around. But 9 a.m. for me is like, 8 a.m. for Ontario, 7 a.m. for further inside the country, and then weird midday time for all of Europe. And also, I'm just not that kind of morning person. So I didn't do that. But at some point, it would be nice to do either a dawn or an evening walk or even a sit here. But it's lovely to see these big tracks trailing off. I'm going to leave the field. So what do you guys want? Do you want me to keep following these tracks and just rambling, or do we look for new tracks? You know what? This is not really a democracy. I think I'm going to do it. So we're going into the woods now, and I'll give you kind of a view of the thicker brush, right? Like I'm going to be kind of bushwhacking through here for a little bit, but it's beautiful. This looks like I should have tapped this tree this year. This is nuts. Yeah, for those who aren't, oh, thank you for following. Yeah, guys, anything you can do, follow, how the tip system works is cool. I've got my Instagram there, and then all of this is kind of the marketing arm, I guess, of a glamping empire I am starting this year. So, you can see the website, and once I have the tents and we're kind of more built and ready for people, you can come and stay and see all this stuff yourself, live, IRL, so they say. So here's some more trails through the woods. I can probably fight through. But yeah, when the weather warms up just a little bit and it's sunny during the day, I'll be doing maple syrup tours again. I think some of you are probably familiar with them. Some of you might not be. Sorry, I'm fighting through some brush here. This might not be the best idea visually. But the maple syrup tours are pretty fun. We check all my maple taps and or the buckets, and then I think this week or next week we'll be doing a boil, which is visually not super exciting, but you wind up with syrup, so whatever. And then so this, oh, who's this little bud? Oh, this is coming. It's a lovely little line of trail in the woods. You can't really see it, I suppose. And then we come along. And then we get under the tree. Oh, and then I lose control of the camera. I want to know where this deer trail goes. Ooh. Sorry, I'm getting so sidetracked. Every time I get into these woods like this, I'm so used to being here alone. This is a less than average February, I believe. But if I'm being serious, I mean, they've been all less than average uh, the last few years. Aaron, I don't know. I'm looking at that. It's too big for a vole. Voles make a single line in the snow because their little legs are so short. So my guess is this is a slightly taller animal. Um, Maybe a squirrel, maybe, let's see, do we see any kind of, if we get up close, it's really hard to tell, but there's that's a footfall for sure. That's another one, but there's not a lot of definition. Yeah, I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say squirrel. I know when I walk through these woods, a lot of squirrels yell at me, so that's a very likely option. I think we got more. Oh man, that's like the most fun part of walking through the woods and looking at animal tracks is trying to reconstruct like what happened here. And morning, Chloe, how are you? So we got rabbits going off here. I'm just gonna keep following this deer track. And again, I get really zoned into silence when I'm in the woods here. So if I just kind of stop talking, uh, please remind me that I'm doing something for other people and not just having a walk in the woods. I'm glad to hear it, Chloe. So look at this one, just like cut through here, into the woods. We'll keep following for a minute, but I'm starting to get like, oh, it's so pretty though. Starting to get kind of deep into the woods where I've got to think about bushwhacking back out, and that will not be. Thanks, Martine. Will not be visually super fun. Okay, so here's a little crossover. This is a little rush hour traffic here. Yeah, so my guess is that other one was squirrel. This is kind of a similar thing. And yeah, see it going around. It's going all the way through. Oh, it's so fun. And we got more. Sorry, getting a little twitchy there. Got more here. What are you? Okay, let's see. Hello, Camilo. So that's old rabbit. That's taking a snowfall. Since look at this though. This might be some porcupine, maybe. Although porcupines are sometimes tail draggers, so I don't know. Maybe something skunky. I'm not sure. This looks to me like a, you know, medium. And then there's all sorts of chaos here. Some rabbit came through. There's some whatever, but it looks to me like a medium-sized mammal. If anybody else has thoughts, I would love to hear it. Um, Also, feel free to tell me to slow down if you want to take pictures of these tracks. Oh, that's pretty nice. That's like it looks like a moose track because it's so big, but we don't have moose here anymore. Uh, that's a beauty too. Yeah, it really comes. There's like a lot of activity heading this way. But I think I'm gonna have to turn around shortly. So here's some rabbit poop. Just loving the rabbit poop. Yeah, see, we get into especially like this is a great. That's rabbit. That's a snowshoe hare. You know what? I think I have a picture here of it. I didn't take this picture of the snowshoe hare, but that's our little buddy. So that's who we're looking at there. Um, that's they're everywhere here, and they're kind of for this, for this part of the world, they're a very, I imagine for many parts of the world, they're kind of an essential uh, building block of the, mammal predator ecosystem because they breed prodigiously and everybody loves to eat them. They're not too hard to catch. And look at this. Oh my God. You ready? Look at those little feet. Bloop, bloop, bloop. So that, I don't know, but it could be something like a deer mouse. It's very small, very, very small, but larger than a vole, which leaves because the vole doesn't even clear the snow. So it leaves that little line and it's tiny, but this has, you can see its cute little footprints. Oh, I just love that. So, well, who's got that, the previously posted uh, list of animal tracks? Is the mouse track on there? Do we get that small in that, or is it all mid-sized mammals? I feel like it's all mid-sized mammals. Bowen Island. Morning, Marty. Whoa, what time is it in Bowen Island? It's got to be like 5 a.m. there. Good for you. Okay, so we're going to duck back out. God, look at that. Where are you there, camera? Love this tree. 5 a.m., good morning. So we're just going to come back out into the clearing. The white-footed mouse on that list, but not that track. Okay. So, I don't know. Like I say, I'm not a huge animal tracker. Like I know that there's snowshoe hares all over my property. I know roughly what voles do. I know what the deer prints look like because they got their hoofs. And I've been learning what they do. But yeah, some of the smaller ones, I don't know. My friend's father is a incredible tracker. He's a hunter and stuff like that. And I just send pictures to him. I say, Pete, what's this? That works pretty good. Here's some more little guys. I don't know what this is, but it goes under a little maple tree or pine tree. And then look at that, the secret world of tiny animals, right? I feel like that's a lovely picture. I'm just going to center it there. Look at that, it's framed. That's some Canadiana for y'all. There we go, a little nature. Little nature first thing in the morning. Okay, so we're going to go back out. We're going to follow these footprints, which are hairless ape. They are all over this region and quite a destructive predator, actually. If you see one in the wild, you're best to avoid it. All right, so where did I come from? I'm going this way. It gets a little sketchy the other way. Oh, I definitely have to bring Pete next time. Well, I went to a subreddit yesterday evening for animal tracking and was like, hey, I'm going to do one of these tours and have no idea what I'm doing. I'd love it if somebody would come along, but I don't think anybody took me up on the offer. Here, this is just interesting for me. Look at that. It's like a lichen of some sort. Typically these, pardon me, these like lichen growths, even though this is dead, are a sign of a pretty healthy forest. So I'm always happy to see that on the property when walking around. So we're going to go one other spot on this clearing here. Oh, first I'm going to try to take my eyes out with a low branch. So we're going to go, we're back into this clearing. We're looking back towards what eventually is the water. But just through here, between these two pines, is an area where deer often bed down. Now, I don't know if they do it much in the winter, so might come to nothing, but let's have a look anyhow. This tree is a really goofy looking apple tree. I'm amazed that top branch goes so high. I've been thinking, because this is the tip of my property, of cutting this pine down and letting a few more fruit trees kind of grow so that there can be a few more feeding spots for deer and stuff. There's more and more people moving into this neighborhood, so it's getting more and more difficult for the usual food sources to remain standing, because people are cutting them for their own habitats. So being able to cut down the occasional pine, which grows super fast, and replace it with like a hardwood or a fruit tree that more animals can benefit from might be the new thing. Well, this is some really, really good looking, my stupid shadows all over it, but some fine looking snowshoe hare tracks, almost textbook. All right. The little front feet, big back feet. That's going through. So here we are in the little deer zone. You also sometimes I've seen some bigger animals coming through around here. Morning, Ann and Elaine. But I think I'm not seeing many tracks here. But it is beautiful, isn't it? Look at these trees. Just ridiculous. Shooting up to the sky. Just hanging out and sleeping. Very soon. Very soon. I mean, we've already had a couple of warm weeks. I've already got maple taps in the trees. And very soon they're going to start budding. You can see this here. It's all snapped off. This is still high enough for someone to come and eat it, right? They're biting the buds off the trees because it's some of the first little nutrients coming up from being hidden inside the soil. And yeah, that's actually really cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go out there's a little driveway that's my neighbor's driveway, but they're in Germany till spring, so they don't mind if we walk it. And we often see some coyote tracks crossing it, so we'll see if we get lucky. And then after that, we'll head down to the water, and when we get to the water, we'll see if we can see some animal tracks crossing the ice, which is just, beautiful. And then the sun's coming up now. I'm just going to burn out everybody's retinas here, but just so gorgeous. It's another fabulous day in Eastport Medway, Nova Scotia. Okay, so we'll walk through. This here is like a weird stand of poplars, which just freaks me out for some reason. I don't like it. But I think it's mostly because the poplars, to me, they're like one of these invasive, fast-growing tree species that generally only come after a pretty big clear cut or like deforestation. And then they, also grow into your septic system pipes and whatever. Oh, who's this little bud? Maybe rabbity. It looks a little different if we look at these. All right, so my headphones are about to die, so I'm going to have to switch. Oh, thank you, Martine. I do appreciate the tips. I, do need to pay for my, as you can tell, rock and roll lifestyle. And yeah, these are the creepy poplars. And all these tips help me make it worthwhile. So thank you very much. I often feel like if everybody tipped the price of a cup of coffee, we could just keep doing this forever. I would love if this was my job. This is ridiculous. Oh, thank you, Chloe. So here, sometimes I'm kind of bummed, I'll be honest. Here's, oh, thank you so much. Oh, you guys are too kind. I was not trying to shame or anything, but I really do appreciate it. So here in this like weird, creepy clearing, I have spooked a pretty big buck who comes to lay down here. Usually, I'm just going to go slow pan around. You guys are so kind. Right around here, he'll come in and chill and sleep. And I've definitely spooked him to the point and heard, I don't know if you've ever heard, oh, you guys are just the best. If you've ever heard a deer who's been angry, they get like this big, my regular job, Aaron, I'm trying to transfer out. So here's the deal. I have been a film worker for a decade. And so I was a boom operator. I worked on some pretty big TV shows, a couple of good movies, stuff like that. I did that for a decade. I'm in my mid 40s now, and it's starting to take its toll. Sorry, my headphones died. I'm just gonna throw them in my pocket. The film lifestyle is wonderful. If you get into a film union, it pays really well. My benefits are great, but what they ask of you is like my average work day was, 16 hours probably, sometimes longer. So it's not sustainable long term. It's great for younger people to like get a foothold. It's great for, it really is wonderful. But since moving out to Nova Scotia too, the film industry isn't quite as productive, and I'm just tired. If I'm being really honest, I don't have it in me anymore. And maybe it's time to let some younger people in to do what I was doing. So I'm trying to transition into, I bought this land. I bought these 13 acres of land here in Nova Scotia. So I'm building tent pads, prospector tents, trying to host workshops for natural foraging. A friend of mine teaches fabric dyeing with natural materials. So just kind of facilitating nature experiences on the property. And I'm going to make that my full-time job if I'm fortunate enough. So, and then, also I write. I'm trying to focus more on that. I'm working on getting 50 rejection letters this year. So far, I'm on my way. Sorry for the wind hits. As soon as the headphones have charged up a little bit, oh God. So we're walking this trail. I know it's less interesting. You can see our trails. Morning, Jord, and morning, Tatiana. But right now, we're going to, I'm just trying to avoid the wind for a second. We're going to take these trails because quite often we see, who's this? These are kind of big. Like if you look, there's one, and there's the next, and like that's my foot. I'm size 10 or whatever. So it's like a decent sized track. My guess is maybe this is, and it looks like it's a little old, looks a little windblown, so it's hard to tell, but maybe coyote, maybe bobcat. I'm not sure. I think I dropped one of my gloves in the snow back in the clearing. I'm gonna have to go back after this tour. Hello, Komugi. So next, let's see what this trail is crossing the path here. We might there we go. Is this just a little follow the tracks back to my glove? Yeah, right. Yeah, look at this one. So this isn't like a huge bud, but like, where do you think we're going here? scampering up the hill. It gets lost here. I can't follow that, I'm afraid. Let's see. Yeah, we get into the weeds. Oh, but I see something we can try. Look over here. Oh, this is the maple tree my neighbors had fall. This is my neighbor's property now. So this maple tree here is a big beauty. You can see where that break is. It snapped, fell down, and I cut it up. And yeah, I'm giving it to parts of it to a friend of mine who's going to make guitars out of it. So that's very exciting. But I see these tracks, and these are nice big guys. Are these deer? These are deer. I think these are deer. Although no, they're very close together for deer. It'd be or unless it's a young deer, but like you can see. I'm not sure about this one. All right. Huh. Yeah, I don't know about that one. How many species of deer do you have? As far as I know, Chloe, there's just whitetails around here. Around here. I'm not sure about like. Hello, sorry, I'm back. I'm not sure. Up in Cape Breton, there might be other kinds. There was a lot of hoofed animals around. There was more, it was like, moose, not a lot of mainland moose left. Newfoundland have caribou. I don't know if Nova Scotia, I think Cape Breton used to have caribou, but I don't think they do anymore. Yeah, I kind of lose these tracks. Oh, they come through. You know what? We're just going to go back because I'm going to take us down to the water. I think you guys will enjoy that. It's pretty. Yeah. What time are we at? Oh, 34, yeah. And then I have to double back and find my glove. Morning, Joanna. So we're going to go. The neighbors are building a house right now. I do not envy the workers, but they're getting it done fast, but it'll be a little bit noisy. We'll be on a different road, and then we're going to hop down into the woods, probably see a ton more animal tracks, and we'll get down to the ice, and hopefully that's where we'll see maybe some fox prints. Oh, right. So look at these little cuties. This is the sound like like the high notes on a xylophone. Joanna, probably not now. In the middle of the day, they tend to be pretty chill. I was talking before about how a lot of the animals around here tend to be very crepuscular, which is like dawn and dusk loving animals. So I wanted to either do this earlier, but I'm not an early riser, so I didn't. But right now, what were the little tracks? I think the little tracks were mice again. That seems to me to be little mouse tracks. But if anyone disagrees and thinks they're different, oh, the snowplow came again. Look at this. If anybody disagrees, please feel free to correct me. But my guess is, so we've got like deer mice, and then, yeah, it's true. And then we have voles. And the voles are so little, they leave just a skinny little line in the snow. And they kind of pop up and go back in. And then the deer mice actually leave little footprints. So we're just going to just walk up ahead there. And then we'll snake into the woods again. I know walking on well, you know what? Walking on a country dirt road is not the worst thing in the world. I was going to say, I know it's not very boring. Oh God, right? I mean, I was up at 6 in the morning today, but that's, it takes me some time to get moving. I can get up early, but I'm not getting moving early. And then just to kind of tie into another amazing, Laura, another tour I do, Here, I don't go to this bucket very often because, again, it's on the road, so it's not super picturesque. But the other tour I'm doing right now at this time of year is a maple syrup tour where I tap trees and we talk about that and go examine the traps. And this actually, I mean, holy crow. You can see it's all frozen right now, but there's a fair bit of ice in there, which is delicious ice. So that's a good news. As soon as the weather heats up a little bit, we're going to do a boil, um, and we'll talk about how to collect maple syrup and all that. It is super fun. Need a spoon and eat it. Oh, Joanna, the biggest problem with me collecting maple sap for making syrup and stuff is that I have the urge to just tip every bucket back and drink it. But it's so good. But if you're patient and you boil it, I don't know if anybody's familiar in Canada. We have, I mean, the Quebec is like, I think they make 70% of the world's maple syrup. And there's something there that's called, like, there's a cabane à sucre, which is a sugar shack, which is where they go when they boil the sap down. And if you go to a cabane à sucre and they're doing a boil, they'll do this thing called tire d'érable, where you basically take a stick. It is good for you too. Yeah, it's true. You take a stick, you pour some syrup on the snow, and then you roll it in the stick, and it becomes like toffee. And it's tire d'érable, and it is, dear God, one of the most wonderful flavors in the world. So when we do the maple boil, depending on what time, well, if you follow along, at some point I'll take this tour. I'll do a Heygo maple tour, and rather than doing sap collecting, I'll do a boil, and I'll try to time the boil so that I've got some syrup that's at a consistency that we can do it, and you can see it done in real time. It's amazing, and then you can listen to me moan with delight while I eat tire d'érable in front of you. Yeah, they did do it back in Little House in the Prairie. So here we got more snowshoe hares. This here is like a snowshoe hare super highway because there's a lot of overgrowth, a lot of brambles, or not brambles, but like just downed trees. Clearly above, I mean, let's see, like above, it's a lot of canopy, so it's really hard for birds of prey to get down here. So they're safe from above. And then there's a lot of, because of like, yeah, fallen trees and just the thickness of the growth, they can, it makes it harder for land-based predators. So we'll see a lot of little snowshoe hares. Like foxes can get around here pretty easy. Although I honestly don't see foxes much around here until wintertime. Here's another little mouse track. Walking through. Just adorable. Less adorable when they're in your pantry, but, you know, we make trade-offs to live in the woods. Get rid of them. Okay, so follow these little rabbits, although I think these are coming towards us. These, like, sometimes the tracks can be deceptive, so it's always about patterns, because that almost looks like a big animal's footprints, right? And, like, maybe there's next to my footprint there, but maybe there's another. But as you go, you start to see the little, like, you know, back foot, front feet, and it becomes more apparent what it is. But learning to read, like snow is great because it's easy, but learning to read this stuff at other points is really interesting, and I don't do enough of it. Here's one that I don't know what it is, but it's something small enough to go under there. There's also, you can see, why won't this go up? There we go. So we get under there. We're going to go for a little hidey hole. Disappearing into the woods. There's one neighborhood cat that I see around here too that kind of stalks the woods. Is that the only good thing about snow? I love snow, Joanna. If I'm being really honest, I mean, if we have to have winter, I'd rather have it be like white and pretty and that you can slide on it and whatever than like slushy, freezing cold garbage or just gray. I can't handle gray. Yeah. Doo-doo points down the road. Oh, no, the roads is, I mean, here there's, a couple of snowfalls a year where here you're just like, okay, I'm in the house for a few days. You make sure to be prepared and you get these like North Atlantic storms that just blow in, just wreck everything. All sorts of garden mess, it's true. Yeah, well, we're already thinking about, we got to get the first seeds in the ground now. It's coming up. At least should have the lettuces and stuff started. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear the hammering going on in the background, but that's the neighbors there. Here's another maple bucket. I don't know if this one has anything in it. Oh, there's a little bit. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Are you guys ready for like my favorite view? First, here's like old rabbit prints, hare, not rabbit, snowshoe hare. You can follow that. Oh, they're having a burn too. Nice. And then going that way into the woods, but we're going to come around. And this is what made me buy the property. So this is the backyard. See the sun. Yeah, it's all right. Every now and then I miss living in a city and I miss restaurants and art galleries and hearing all sorts of wonderful languages spoken and hearing cool cultural stuff and whatever. But I sure do love when this view is just popping like this. So you can see. Well, like, look at that. That's mostly ice, but like, that's ridiculous. It's so beautiful. Just trying to scan here. I think maybe it's wet enough that we're not going to see a lot of tracks down here, unfortunately. But I will whip along the coastline. Yeah, it's true. The sun is a wonderful thing. So we'll whip along the coast every now and then so we can see up ahead. There's little tracks. That might be foxy. I can't tell. Maybe it's rabbity. I hope it's not too blowy for y'all. What are you? I don't know what's going on there, but we come out, we come off the ice, and clearly the animal is small enough that it doesn't crack the ice. Kind of dunk, dunk, dunk. Anyone have any thoughts? Like you can see Foxy and Rabbit. Yeah, maybe. It's weird though. Like 2 feet. Like comes off the ice. Dunk, 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 dunk. Goes, oh God, I don't want to go that way. Kind of does an about face. And then back onto the ice. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, well, here's more to the mystery. But I think this is different. But look at these little footprints. My guess is that these maybe are fox. They're very dainty, but like you can see kind of pads. Yeah, he was skating. And that would make sense then. Nah, these are too small for fox, but these are doing the same thing. Right? I think though fox have a very kind of cat-like walk where they have kind of one foot right with the other. So it's possible, and I definitely see them crossing the ice in the winter. Hello, Patrick. So we can see here, when we get to Big Rock, these tracks go. They come, I believe, yeah. Would this be leading or trailing? And then we go out onto the ice again, where unfortunately we lose them. I know. Well, unfortunately, I can't call Pete when I'm using the phone for a tour. But Pete's like, oh, so there's another little track. I think Pete's just turned 80, so Pete doesn't necessarily come on the same length of walk anymore. Although that said, like he still goes into the woods, and like his rule now is when he's working in the woods, once he uses up one tank of chainsaw gas, he's done for the day. Which is, I mean, I set the same rule for myself, and I'm 45, so it's pretty impressive what Pete gets done. He sells his handmade spoons and cutting boards at the Port Grocer in Port Medway. They've got an online store. I don't know if his stuff is listed there yet, but yeah, Pete's amazing. Pete's really, really wonderful. Laura, Pete is my friend's father, who is far more knowledgeable than I am. And I call him when I'm like, I don't know what this thing is. And I'll send him a photograph of whatever the animal track is. So we're just kind of joking about him being a super genius. Yeah, right? That's exactly what happens. So here, look at this other one. Dunk, 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 dunk. And you can see, like, this is kind of confusing because it meets up with my footprints on the hill. Like, we go up the hill, and then I'm kind of here, but then they come down. Yeah, I'm not sure what these are, but this is the exact same trail that the deer follow. I see them walking the waterfront here quite often, but they don't look like deer tracks to me. So we'll follow it for a little while. I'll tip up again because it is just ridiculous. That's my house, yeah. I try not to show it too much on these streams, but whatever. Look at that. It goes right across the ice here. Let's track it for a bit. And then, thanks. Yeah, it's like 150 years old. It was built in the same year that Canada was confederated. It's from 1867. There's a person up the street named Dougie who was actually, he's in his 80s or so now as well. He was born in my house. And then there's another man named Earl up the way, and Earl used to date the girl who lived in my house when they were teenagers. It's this community is full of very incredible, rich history that way. And me, like I'm a first generation Canadian. Both of my parents are not from here, and so to come to a place with such a long, straight line history, I find very interesting, even if I can't always relate to it, you know. So yeah, so look at this. Maybe it is deer, but I feel like it's not. I'm sliding on this ice, just walking real slow. But yeah. Look at that. We see that going out? Oh, man, that's a little windy, though. All right, I'm going to be honest. That's cold. You get to see the snow whipping across the ice. All right, you guys better enjoy this because I am not doing too much more of this, like, coastal walk. We'll go out to the tip here. You can see everybody's, yeah, and I've only got one glove because I left the other glove somewhere in the woods. So we're gonna nip this in the bud, but you can see guys have been, I shouldn't say guys, people, not people, animals, what are they? Folk have been coming along here as well, clearly tougher than I am, walking on the ice. Coming from over here. Don't see, oh, look at this. Yes, we'll get a cool ice print. This should be a good little postcard shot. I can't get too far down because it's super slick. Because right now we're getting to an area that's like tidal. They haven't lost their gloves, right? Yeah, I'm definitely as tough as a deer. Okay. I unfortunately just put my foot on it, but look. So it's windswept. Sorry, I'm trying to tip down. There we go. So if we look, we have those same prints that we were looking at over there, right? And they get a little windswept, but then they come. Sorry, my shadow's all over it. So more animal print detectives. So we follow this, ignoring my big ugly boot print. And then it comes through here. And then we're under the ice where we can't see it. But then, can you see that line of footprints where you are? I'm trying to get, I think the sun is really obscuring them. Yeah, we can see it? Okay, great. So then it goes out to that island, which is like, somebody's got to be making their winter home there. That's amazing. Didn't get pick of the bear because by the time you get the camera, yeah, exactly. What is it? I can't see those prints. I think it's fox. I think it's likely fox. If you look over this way, it's really hard to see. It's really burnt out, but like just over here, there's kind of a pier with like, it's hard to tell because it's really dark. The sky is amazing today, but there's rabbit tracks coming off of this little jetty pier thing, boat launch, heading over this way, and then also heading over this way. And my guess is that a fox kind of knows and is going to the island to look for something to eat coming from another direction. Can't prove it, but can't disprove it either. So, yeah, Joanne, it's incredible. It's so beautiful. And this, well, I'm in Canada, or Jesus, Canada. Sorry, I'm in Nova Scotia. I'm on the south shore of Nova Scotia, just around, not too far from Liverpool. So, in between Bridgewater and Liverpool, Nova Scotia, on the south shore. Right. That's the Medway River there. That's the North Atlantic going out there. I'm gonna lose my headphones again, and I think that might be me just about done, everyone. Um, Thank you so much for all coming along with me. My father's born in South Africa. My mother's born in Denmark. So they both met, I think they met in the States. And yeah, had me. And that's that. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to go in because I have to go find that glove. I don't have a second pair of gloves. I hope that was a fun tour. I'm sorry if it wasn't as knowledgeable. The Maple tour is definitely a little bit more put together, but I had a blast anyway. And I hope you'll join me on the Maple tour. I hope you'll join me on subsequent tours. I have a, I don't know, Instagram and all that stuff linked to on my, I don't do Facebook, but I do Instagram, and I've got my website linked to on my Facebook bio page. I will do this again, so long as there's snow. I'm just not skilled enough to do this if it's not snowing. I'll put the camera down and say a little goodbye. Follow you too if you can. Yeah. So there's my headphones dead. But yeah, thanks so much for coming. I'm just going to put this down so I can say a proper goodbye to everybody. Oh, golly, look at this. We get here, and there's a beautiful track coming right through the wood. Beep, 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 beep. Anyway, I'm just trying to find a spot to go. I'll put the camera down. I am very fortunate to live here. I started making semi-decent film money a while ago, and I decided this was my whole goal in life, and it paid off, and I am aware of my fortune and aware of, yeah, just how lucky I am. So we're gonna do that. Boonk. And then there I am. Hello, everybody. I'm not gonna buy more gloves. I'm gonna find my gloves. I believe in reusing these things. So I got one glove on anyway. Yeah, so thanks so much for coming, everybody. And yeah, there's like the Maple tour, there's other fun stuff. And if you like the tour, please leave a tip. Oh, thank you so much.
If you also just, I don't know how this works. I'm not a big social media person. You can see my Instagram has like 4 posts, but like share it with people, have people come down. The more this does, I'll get better equipment and you can have better postcards. But also, stay in touch and oh, you're having a storm in New York. Well, hopefully we're not. We just had one not too long ago. We got a good dump a few days ago, which is what we're looking at. Oh, my name for Instagram is bestkeptsecret.ca, like SEACRET. Just like it's on my Heygo page. There's a link. There's an Instagram link there. The website's there as well. It's also bestkeptsecret.ca. Oh, please. Yeah, I won't see it, but anybody sharing on Facebook would be great. I have lots of tours planned, and, big year for us here at the Best Kept Secret Experiences Campground, where hopefully come July, there's a couple of prospector tents, and you can rent. Yeah, you can rent. You can get a picnic basket full of breakfast, sleep in the woods, wake up and go down to the water, rent stand-up paddle boards, go for a paddle on the Medway River. All sorts of stuff coming. But right now, just this is wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. And yeah, thanks for making this a fun morning for me, guys. Love y'all and goodbye.